Uh, okay, today's YouTube video I'm going to explain Java program. You can see here I'm trying to explain automation workflow. So here is the modules we are going to use, like SSH file download. Generally from third-party servers, the badges will download the file and they'll process the file. So secure shell is very important. When you are connecting to third-party server, you need to establish secure connection to third-party server before downloading any file. After that, file need to be validated. You can see the file need to be validated there. We will write a logic to validate the file. And multi-thread processing is very important, because you see the file can have multiple records, millions of records. So when you want to process multiple records, a single thread process is not sufficient. You may need to spawn multiple threads, or may need to create multiple threads so that they'll process the data parallelly. Okay, API call and retry. I see you can use API call if you want to perform any other logic, or you want to save something, you can use it. Or after that, DB save is the one concept. DLQ logging, dead letter queue. Generally, if some record failed, then we will actually log it. We will see that in the example how it's going to be done. And after that, report and alerting, we will have reports and alerting. So you can see I'm going to create a public class automation app, and inside that public static void main string arguments, and I'm going to have an info log sysout log automation started. After that, first we need to download the file. For that, we are going to create a function file equal to file object download file. You can see here, and let's see what the download file function is doing here. If you come here, it's actually throwing exception object, and inside that you see we are reading a CSV file, and we have written a file, file writer. You can see we actually took the file writer, and we are writing the you can see we are downloading that file, and but you see it just simulated, it did not give the actual code. I don't know, so let's see. Give me actual code for downloading file SSH connect. Okay, let me okay. You see, generally this is the actual code. Okay, you can see here. First we need to mention the server, third-party server, whatever the server the file is residing, you need to provide that. And after that, user ID password, because you are connecting to third-party server, you need to authenticate that, right, using SSH secure shell authentication. So, and there is a file, remote file. What is the remote file? Remote file is the input.csv, and we are trying to store the file with the same name in a local file. So two variables declared, remote file and local variable. So now you see we need a session also, because you are going to connect third-party server. You need to create a session first. So how you're going to do that? So we're going to use JSH object. It is a secure shell object, and there is a get session where you can see get session. You need to pass username, host details, and port, and the session will be established. You are setting a password here. Okay, and after that you can see we are going to create a config class where we are enabling a property strict host key checking. We need to disable this, otherwise it won't download the file. Okay, so which is why we are actually setting this property strict to host key as a no. and we need to set that config file to the session, and session.connect will connect to the third party server. What is the third party server? Host server. Here your server.com can give anything. The port is 22. You can see it is running on port. So whenever you are connecting to third party server, you generally use the port 22. Okay, and after that open SFTP channel. You need to open SFTP channel. Why do you need SFTP? Secure file transfer protocol. See, after connecting to the third party server, you need to download the file. For downloading the file, you need to use SFTP protocol. Okay, using that SFTP, you will connect to the server, and SFTP channel equal to SFTP channel, you see. And now you're going to download this file, input stream equal to SFTP channel dot get off remote file. It will download that file immediately. Now you are passing that you see you need to write this remote file content to the local file, right? You're not just downloading it, you are writing the data to local file. So here what you are doing here, you see here we got an input stream, and this we are actually reading the data. Okay, input from the input stream, writing it to output file, output stream, and the file will be saved to the local content. Okay, so that is how it happens. Generally, when you download the file will be downloaded with the same name, but here we are actually writing the data also, because we are doing this way. Okay, if you use a shell script and all, you can directly download that file. There will be commands. Okay, fine. For this code, it will be like this. Okay, now the catch black, we are printing it, print text trace and everything. And the important thing is you need to clean up all the connections. SFTP channel connection, you need to close the channel, you need to close the session. Okay, when you do all these things, you need to, these are very important. So this is for downloading part. Okay, I told you. So unfortunately the above code, we did not give the full code, it just simulated the thing. But I asked for actual code, it gave us the simulation part. It is not the right. But anyhow, we can actually use that particular function there. Okay. And next thing is validate file. Now we got a file input.csv, it is there in the server. Now we need to validate. So what is that validate function is doing? You see here. Validate the file. So if the file dot length equal to 0, if file is not downloaded, we are telling file is empty. File does not exist, we are actually throwing exception, file not found. We're not doing anything here. Actually some validation should be there. Sometimes in real time, most of the cases, right, in general, the files will have some unique name, some standard name. They will follow some encoding pattern for file names, so that the file can be differentiated from the multiple times other files. If you take a bank, right, they'll follow some pattern for storing a banking data in particular files. So the file name will have some pattern matching for a particular file. So we need to validate that pattern matching, make sure that the file is belongs to that particular bank or particular kind. We can tell that we can actually differentiate it. So now the process file method, what is this is doing? You see the process file. So the file came here, what buffer reader is for reading the data, and now you see we are reading the line by line. When you mention a code like while line equal to reader dot read line not equal to learn, this means it is reading line by line each record. Okay, and then we are assigning that particular line to record, and executed or submit. You see we are actually using executor framework, threading concept. We created 3 threads using a thread pool, right? Now we are actually processing this record. So parallelly 3 threads will process this record. What is this processing each record? What is that we are doing here? For each record, somehow we are calling some third-party API. It is storing that into database. Okay. Maybe we need to store some data. Okay. Validate the particular Line, you can also apply many transformations here if you want, but for now just storing that. You can see string response equal to retry of, it is a retry logic. What is this retry logic? You can see it is a callable function. Okay, what is that we are trying? We are actually taking 3 attempts. Okay, whenever server is not responding, the API is not responding, we will try to call that API 3 times. Okay, you see, maximum 3 times we are going to call that. So this is for retry logic. We use the Java function here. Okay, so whenever the 3 attempts are over, they reach it to 0, then okay, and then we are throwing some exception. Generally this code indicates we need to call it 3 times. Okay, okay, DB simulation. This is ChatGPT has given me gen code this time. Rather, I am expecting actual logic. I want to explain how it happens in production, but it did not give the actual code. Okay, fine. Now, and log DLQ. When do we use log DLQ? Okay, where are we calling this log DLQ method? Let's check the code. You see here, there is a process file method. Inside that multi-threading concept, whenever we get an exception, whenever you are processing a record, somehow we got an exception. So that particular record, we don't want to miss that record. We want to track that record, right, for auditing purpose, because we want to know if some records are failed getting stored in a particular DB. How would I know? Suppose the file can have millions of records, and we are processing those records, and in the middle of the file there is some 1000 what we call, there is a record 10,000 at the row of 10,000. The record failed suddenly. In 10,001 record it passed. So in case of exception, what it will do, you go there, you see what it will do. Invoking log DLQ, what is this? Dead letter Q. Okay, what we are doing, we are taking that record, we are writing that record into another file. The file is dlq.txt. So what this dlq.txt will do, whenever you are going to process the millions of records, if any record fails somehow because of some reason, and we are going to log that entry into dlq.txt. I hope you understood this, right? Let's see how it works. This is how it works. Okay, this is the code I wanted to explain. You can see here. I hope this example would be useful for you. Whenever you want to process any batch files, you can use this logic using Java. You can also use shell scripting and Python other framework. Thank you for listening.